you're back with me, JD, and I would like to wish all our Muslim friends, viewers, patrons, and subscribers a very, very Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Maaf Zahir dan Batin. I hope you guys have had a great Idul Fitri celebration over the weekend. Welcome back everyone to another episode of Weekly Update Wednesdays. We are now in week 7. Wow, time really has flown by in, just in the blink of an eye. I hope you guys are continuing to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Remember to wash your hands, practice social distancing, take care of your personal hygiene always, okay? First of all, if you're new here, do take a moment to subscribe to the channel and remember to click on the notification bell so that you'll be updated on all our new videos as soon as I upload them. All right. Firstly, of course, again, a very, very big shout out to all the patrons that have been supporting the channel throughout all this while. Thank you very much for your support, and for those who have signed up during the special offer, right? The CD is going to be going out to you real soon, all right? So I'm going to be sending them off to the post office real quick. Hopefully you should be able to get them the earliest next week, perhaps, all right? We'll keep you all posted. I'll message all of you all individually just to let you know, so you will have a tracking number to keep track of where the CD is, okay? Right, so stay tuned, right? CD is gonna be on your way really soon. Okay, I've got a big announcement to make today in this video. For those of you who've been following me these past couple of years, you would know that every year I organize and I conduct the Direct Access Music Production Workshop. So what is it? Basically, it's a hands-on practical workshop where people, participants will get to watch and participate hands-on to classroom instruction, live demonstrations, mixing sessions, Q&As, classroom instruction, right? Basically all of that, right? But very, very practical, very, very hands-on, which is done right here in the studio. So every year I do that music production workshop and they get to watch how a song is created all the way from scratch. The basic demo, right? The rough, raw, scratch demo, all the way until the finished mix and master. So before all of that takes place, all right, I need to search for an artist or a band to feature in the workshop. So I'm very, very happy to announce that this year's installment of the Direct Access Band Search for the year 2020 is now open, and I'm accepting the submissions for all you independent artists and independent bands out there. So send in your demos, right? I'm going to leave the details of where you can send it to. Just email it to me to studio2105@yahoo.com. I'll leave the details all of how you can submit all down in the description below, right? So if you submit and if you are the lucky chosen one, you are going to have your song produced, recorded, mixed by me, yourself, yours truly, all for free. And you, of course, right, will be featured in this year's Direct Access Music Production Workshop. So some of our previous bands that have, been the winners in the past year, I mentioned last week, Roselith, right, who've just released their single for the song, which won last year's Direct Access Band Search. And the year before that, I also had another band which was called Joy 92 with their single as well. So if you are the chosen band, right, if your song gets selected, right, gets chosen to be used, to be featured in this year's music production workshop, you have it produced, recorded, mixed, everything, right, by me, myself, right, for free of charge, right? And once the song's been mixed, been mastered, You can do anything what you want with it. It's free for you. You can release it. You can put it out on Spotify, YouTube, whatever you want to do. The song, the finished master is belongs to you, right? It's totally for you to use however way you wish. Okay. So now you might have some questions, right? So what are the criteria, or how am I eligible to sort of submit my band's songs, my band's demos for this direct access band search? So you might be asking, what are the criteria? What are the conditions to be eligible for the direct access band search? Okay, let me just list it out for you. Right. So number one, you have to be an independent and an unsigned artist or band. So this means that you mustn't be signed to. Basically, you must not be signed to a major label. It's fine if you're signed to an independent, or it's fine if you are a band who is doing it DIY and you act and you operate as your own label. That's perfectly fine, right? Just as long as you're not signed to any of the major labels, or you have like some corporate sponsorship or something like that. All right. So that's the first criteria. The distribution deals are fine, because that's actually very, very normal. If you are an independent band, but you've gone to a major label, for example, for distribution, either digitally, or otherwise, okay, that's fine. Distribution deals are perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. Okay, all right. So point number two would be your submission, your demo has to be an it sounds really obvious, okay, but it's good for me to just lay it out, right? Okay, so it needs to be an original, right, or an unreleased material, okay? So it needs to be original. You have written and composed the song yourself, right? And it has to be unreleased, okay, right? So what do I mean by that? Because if the song has already been, maybe you recorded a previous version of the song and you've already released it, there's kind of no point in going through this whole process of kind of redoing and recreating it again, right? So that's why it's important to be unreleased. Now, demos are fine if before this you have only put out a demo version. Again, that will be perfectly fine, right? But it needs to be again original. Unreleased material, so no cover versions, unfortunately. Okay, so again, this is to avoid copyright issues and licensing issues and all that sort, which it's a huge hassle to deal with. So that's the whole point about it. Okay, point number three. Okay, so now I'm open to any style or any genre as long as it has vocals, right? Okay, so really sorry to instrumental bands out there. I won't be able to accept your submissions. Like if you are an instrumental band, maybe it's time to recruit a vocalist right now and send in the demo. Okay, now the reason being why I need this band to have at least at least to have some vocals in it is because it's for the whole content of the workshop. Because each week what we do is we cover different aspects of recording. So week one we will do drums typically, then week two we do bass, week three we usually do guitars, and then the fourth week we usually do vocals. So if your band has got no vocals, no singer, I can't fit it within the syllabus and within the content of the lessons. Okay, all right. So number 5, okay, would be regarding the demos itself. Okay, now the demos, right, preferably they should be recorded either live, right, or if it's not live and you're doing it multi-tracked, okay, preferably it should be with at least live instruments. Okay, now I do understand that we are kind of now obviously with the whole COVID-19, may not be very easy to get people together. You may not be able to get band members together, or be able to access a jamming studio. Okay, all right. So that's fine, right? If you can't do that, If you have to, let's say, use program drums, okay, that's fine. All right, that's perfectly okay. That's acceptable. The rest of the instruments, though, your bass, your guitars, obviously vocals, that has to be live. Okay, so because I need to be able to listen and sort of judge the playing, the parts, that's in the demo in order to deem whether it's suitable or not to be used the for the workshop. Okay, so live demos are preferable. Okay, go and contact many of the jamming studios that I know out there. A lot of my friends are in our jamming studios have now reopened back with their social distancing SOPs and everything in place as well. I know of that. So go out, go and support our friends in all these the jamming studios. I'll leave some links in the description below to who you can contact. Go and support them. Go and get a live demo recorded if possible, right? And then you can submit your demo to me this way. Okay. Now, point number, I lost track of which point am I in. Okay, right. But the last point is that I get this question a lot as well, and I get a lot of submissions from solo artists. Okay, what about if I'm a solo artist? Okay, so here's the deal. Well, unfortunately, if you're kind of just a solo artist, it's doesn't really fit. Once again, it won't fit into the the program and the content of the music workshop. But if you are a solo artist and you have, let's say, backing musicians, you have a backing band, you have, you can get a drummer, you can get a bassist, you can get a guitarist, at least minimum these three, or maybe you play the guitar yourself. Okay, so if you are a solo artist, right, and you can sort of get a band together, right, that's perfectly fine. Please send in. I would love to hear your demos as well, right? Because in the end, I think the main priority, the most important thing ultimately would be the song. Okay, right? The song is king. The delivery and the performance of the song is most important. So it's perfectly fine if you are a solo artist. Heck, if you are a solo artist, and I know there are some of them out there who are super multi-talented people, right? Individuals out there. If you're a solo artist and if you can play everything yourself, you can play the drums, you can play the bass, you can do tap out everything yourself. By all means, that would be cool as well. So okay, so yeah, so basically that covers it, right? I hope I've covered all the points that hopefully answers any kind of questions you might have. But if you still have any questions, still have any queries, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, or get in touch with me on social media, or email me on my Facebook, DM me, or wherever on my social media you can get in touch with me. Okay, right? So again, Direct Access Band Search 2020 is now on. Stand a chance to win an opportunity to get your song produced, recorded, mixed, mastered right here by me for free of charge, and also you're gonna be featured right for the Direct Access Music Production Workshop. I'll be looking forward to hear your demos real soon. A closing date, by the way, is tentatively it's 30th June, end of June. But things are very fluid and kind of very flexible because of the whole issue with the COVID-19 and MCO here in Malaysia, in our country. So if things change, the dates may change. We may push this to a further back. Probably might extend the band search, right? So sometimes I've done that before. So if that happens, I will definitely update you guys and let you know. But in the meantime, right, go get your demos ready. I would really love to hear what you have in store for you. Okay. All right, now it's time to get into our Q&A session. Question 1. I want to convert an MP3 into a WAV file to upload to a digital streaming platform like Spotify, Joox, etc. What's the best audio format converter? And what's the best specifications for delivering the audio to those platforms? This is a very, very important topic because there's a lot of confusion going around with MP3s, WAV, this format, that format, what's compressed audio, what's uncompressed audio. Now, basically, right, MP3 that we're all very, very familiar with, okay, is a compressed audio format. So basically what it means is that, an MP3 is derived using data compression, okay? So of course the mechanics of how that's being done, I'm not going to go into in this video. But basically what it does is that it takes the information from an uncompressed audio file, which is usually a WAV or an AIFF format. It takes that, and using data compression, it can compress an audio file to approximately about 1/10, about 10% the original size of the uncompressed WAV file. So let's say, a typical 3-4 minute song would be about 40-50 megabytes in size. And MP3 can be compressed all the way down to about, a couple of megabytes only, 4 or 5 megabytes, roughly about 1/10 of the original size. So what happens in that process, obviously in order to reduce the file size of something, from 50 megabytes all the way down to 4 or 5 megabytes, there has to be something that needs to be compromised. So through data compression, there are ways of doing is the MP3 conversion process, right, encodes the information, and what it does, it omits some of the information which it deems unnecessary for our ears. So basically, there is it's almost 90% of the original information is filtered out by the encoding process. So that's how we refer to an MP3 as a lossy, because you are losing information, you are losing data, right? And it's a lossy compressed audio format. Okay, so the whole debate of lossy versus lossless, and then whether or not we can the average consumer can hear the quality or the loss or the difference between MP3 and a WAV. Okay, that's a whole debate, another whole Pandora's box of arguments that we can go into another video. But basically, be aware that based on your question, when you want to convert an MP3 into a WAV, there's a big problem there. Your MP3 has already been compressed from its original, uncompressed form. It's really an MP3. It has already lost its information. It's already lost some, it's lost like 90% of its quality. So now when you want to sort of convert it back to WAV file, you are not going to get back that missing data, that missing information. All it does, right, the audio conversion process, all it does is that it's going to convert it. Yep, you can convert it into it from an MP3 back into a WAV file, but you are not going to regain, the quality or the detail or the information that's already been lost. So that's very, very important. So what happened, right? This question came from you on Facebook. So what I did understand is that what you did was that you actually exported the file in an MP3 format, right? And then you were listening to it, and then you decided you wanted to upload it to an online digital streaming platform. So what you need to go back, right, is to go back to your DAW, right, your software which you created and you made the song, and you need to re-export the file as either a WAV, or if you are using in an Apple platform, you export it as AIFF. Right, WAV and AIFF are essentially the same thing, right? Just different file names. Okay, right. So you need to go back to your software, original software, and re-export them as a WAV before you upload to all these streaming platforms. So your question was asking originally about what's the best audio converter. Now, basically, almost any software, right? Any DAW software out there can do audio conversions, right? So but before not even going to that, you need to address the issue of what was the right format that you need to export in the first place. So, right, Go back to your software, your DW. Remember to export it in WAV. Okay, so what are the specifications? Okay, now, so the best specifications for delivering the audio. Okay, so now generally my advice is that you actually need to refer to all the different digital platforms, because most of them would list their requirements and their specifications, their upload specifications, right? Their criteria on their website or on their platform. Okay, right? So check it out. It's usually already listed there. But generally, the minimum, right? The minimum, right? Specification, audio specifications would be the same as for audio CD. Okay, all right. So it would be 16-bit, all right? That's your bit depth. Okay, 16-bit, 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate, right? So 16-bit, 44.1K for short. Okay, so that is generally the minimum accepted specification for uploading. Now, having said that, most of the digital platforms nowadays actually can already accept higher resolution files. So, for example, if I do believe Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Pandora, they accept, right, even higher resolution files, 24-bit 48 kilohertz, 24-bit 96 kilohertz even, right? And so you can deliver all your higher resolution file formats to these the digital streaming platforms. In fact, iTunes, right? Apple Music and iTunes even has a specification which is referred to the mastered for iTunes, which is the MFIT. So if you go to your iTunes, you go to your Apple Music, sometimes you will see some albums or some singles with that MFIT tag there. So that is a very, very specific set of specifications that's been published by Apple, So if you follow that for Apple and iTunes only, okay, that's only for Apple and iTunes, that will ensure that when it's being encoded within their system, it's going to result in the best and optimum sounding quality. Okay, now besides the bit depth and the sampling rate, there's also a very, very important point, right, which is usually mentioned in these specifications, right, is that your audio should not exceed a certain level, right? Should not exceed a certain true peak level. All right. So if you're playing back a song, and even though your audio file did not peak, right? Let's say it only peaked at minus 0.1 dBFS full scale. dBFS meaning decibels relative to full scale. Okay. So even though it did not exceed minus 0.1, but there's a possibility that during the decoding process, right, that means when it's decoded, right, and then converted back into analog out to your speakers or headphones, there is a high possibility that it will actually cause peaks. It will actually cause distortion, digital distortion during the decoding and the conversion process back to analog. That's why the recommendation now is to have your audio which you upload, make sure that when it's mastered at the time, make sure that your true peaks do not exceed minus 1 dBFS. And Spotify in fact goes further to even mention that if you are dealing with very hyper compressed material, which means that maybe very, very limited, very aggressively limited, very aggressive audio compression, right? That you make sure that the peaks do not exceed minus 2 dBFS. One good thing you can make sure that you're not exceeding is that you use a meter, right, that has the ability to measure true peaks. So not all audio and level meters can measure true peaks, but most of the newer and the most recent ones already have the ability to do so because they realize how important it is to measure true peaks. So one of the best ones that I can recommend, and the one that I'm using, is called the Youlean, right? Youlean. I'm not sure what's the proper way to pronounce it, but all right, it's spelled Youlean, right? So it's the Youlean meter. It's actually available for free. You can actually download it and use the basic version for free. I'll leave the link again down in the description so you can check it out and download it yourself. Use it and make sure that your masters do not exceed -1 dBFS. Okay. Now, having said all that, okay, there's also the whole topic about loudness and all that, which is another huge rabbit hole to dive down into. Now, having said, right, if you all this headache of making sure all these specifications and all that, my advice in the end again is, all right, the best person to really deal and take care of all these things would be a mastering engineer. So last week, I did a topic on the question about whether or not you should master your own mixes. I suggest that you click on this card, which should be floating around here somewhere, right? Or the description, which I'm going to leave it below. I suggest that you check out that video on the topic and what I think and what the thoughts that I have about the topic of mastering. So all these issues, right, about all the specifications, level, true peak, yada yada, right? Mastering engineer is the best person to actually take care of and sort out all these and take care of all these issues for you. So again, that's another benefit of sending off your mixes to a mastering engineer to work on. All right, hope that answers your questions. If you still have any questions regarding the topic, please again, you can get in touch with me, leave it down in the comments below, and I will get back and I will address these in the future video. Alright, so this brings us to the end of this week's installment of Weekly Update Wednesdays. So, as usual, if you have questions, you have comments, you have suggestions, you have feedback, please leave them down in the comment section below. Now, if you found this week's video helpful, informative, please do leave a like. Share it with your friends, okay? Especially about the news, about the direct access band search. If you have friends who are in bands, or you yourself, if you're watching this, you're very likely you're a musician or an engineer or producer, and you would very likely be in a band yourself. Please do help to share the information and share the news, right, to anyone who might be interested in sending in their demos. I really look forward to hearing the demos from you guys out there really soon. Okay, so lastly, once again, do take a time after you watch this video, go and click subscribe. It really helps to build my channel. Click on the notification bell, because if you do, you will be updated. You will be informed every time we put out a new video over here. And most importantly, not forgetting, okay, do consider, like, if you would like to support the channel directly, financially, all right, do consider signing up to become a patron. Go down to the website that's down below that in the video, www.patreon.com/studio2105, right? For as little as like $3 a month, right, your pledge will help go towards supporting this channel, helping to support the creation of content such as this, such as the weekly live stream, MixStream sessions that we have every week, the breakdown videos, the analysis videos that I do, and the interviews that I do with the artists and the producers about their songs. So it would really help, and I really appreciate it. So head on down to www.patreon.com/studio2105. Sign up to become a patron. Really help. It will really help, and I really appreciate it. So, all right, that brings us to the end. All right, thank you again so much for watching this. I hope you guys keep staying safe, staying healthy. All right, be happy. I hope to see you again real soon in next week's video. Till next time, take care. Bye.